Good morning, ladies. So this is day 2 of our storytelling and oral traditions. So again, today we're going to have 2 articles. So our first article today is New Book Shares Celebrity Stories About Culture and Being American. You may even recognize some of these celebrities. So let's see here. Hey, Alicia Keys. Actress America Ferrera has a new project. She has put together a book of essays by famous people. American Like Me, Reflections on Life Between Cultures, is filled with first-person stories written by writers, actors, and athletes. Writers include Hamilton, actor Lin-Manuel Miranda, Insecure actress Issa Rae, writer Roxane Gay, and Moana actress Auli'i Cravalho. This book also includes chef Padma Lakshmi, figure ice skater Michelle Kwan, basketball star Jeremy Lin, and Ferrera. Ferrera is the star of The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, NBC's Superstar, and ABC's Ugly Betty. In the introduction of the book, Ferrera writes about her first name. She used to get angry at the know-it-all kid in her class who would turn to face her when saying the Pledge of Allegiance. You know, because my name's America. Ferrera described her life through some sad episodes. Sometimes her own definition of America clashed with that of her peers. Ferrera writes that her third-grade crush told her he liked a classmate more than Ferrera. He had liked Jenna more because Jenna has blue eyes and lighter skin. Growing up with immigrant parents. It's a sad moment of unreturned love. It's made worse by racist view. However, some of the other essays show that being American for people of color isn't all bad moments. Hamilton star Lin-Manuel Miranda's piece describes how he felt on the Three Kings Day. He writes, "The only Latino kids in our grade are basically on par with Jesus." Three Kings Day is a Christian holiday. It is celebrated in Latin America and Spain. The holiday celebrates the biblical tale of the three kings, or three wise men. This is when they visit baby Jesus after his birth. Miranda's story looks at the culture we ordinarily keep at home. He shows his culture as beautiful and empowering. Writer Roxane Gay also talks about the differences between cultures. It is complicated, especially for children of immigrants. She writes about the bonds formed by her parents' unrestrained love. She compares the endless love of her family to strict borders. Most first-generation kids are familiar with the negotiations of who we are at home and who we are in the wider world, Gay writes. On the whole, I am the better for it. I am better for the benefit of enjoying diverse cultures and experiences and knowing exactly where I come from. Dealing with racism and cultural assimilation. Insecure star Issa Rae grew up in Los Angeles. Rae writes a thoughtful piece about childhood summers spent in Senegal. This is a country in West Africa. In Senegal, her awkwardness got lost in translation. She says she was a nerdy girl who was scolded for acting white in her American middle school. She mentions feeling confident in Senegal. Her father, who was Muslim, is from there. She remembers the experience fondly. She also knows she was treated like a pop star because she was from LA. One of the pieces is by Sour Heart, author Jenny Zhang. She takes on food and culture. Zhang and her family managed to eat so decadently on a fraction of the income our white counterparts ranked in. For them, the so-called American dream of assimilation tasted terrible. Cultural assimilation is when a minority community tries to integrate with the larger community. This can mean using the language and customs of the larger community to fit in. Zhang writes about the American dream of indulgence. She writes about getting power back through food. Families like her face racism and fear of immigrants. She shows these topics by describing her family visits to cheap, all-you-can-eat American buffet restaurants called Sizzler. Ferrera's collection is filled with gems like these. The first-person stories show each writer's voice. From some of the biggest stars in art and entertainment come funny, touching, and complicated reminders that the word American is wonderfully and endlessly undefinable. All right, ladies, so now that you finished your first article, you can go back and revisit it and do another reread. And under the activity section, you will take your quiz with multiple choice and short response questions. And then you do have a writing prompt here. It states, choose one of the people mentioned in the article and summarize their assimilation to American culture. How did they integrate their family culture into the American way of life? So again, you have to go back and find out what this word assimilation means that is described in the text using context clues. And you're going to choose one person mentioned in the article and summarize how they assimilated to their American culture. All right, so our second article for today is an arts article, and it's titled Storytelling Festival in Africa Aims to Share Folktale Sharing Tradition. In St. Cecile Square in Benin, a storyteller took the stage and caught the audience in a magical spell of words. The story unfolded as dusk settled, with oil lanterns casting yellow light. The tale was about a naughty little girl who disobeys her parents. She whistles at night, a way of calling dark spirits. The girl is attacked by fierce beasts. However, she is saved from death by the brave action of her neighbor, a hunter. Jimanda, a teenage high school student, was among those fascinated by the ancient story. I was always told never to whistle at night, but never understood why, she said. Now I know. A rich cultural history. Benin is a small country in Western Africa. The story told was only part of a rich cultural history that includes collections of folk tales. Many of them have been handed down from generations to generation by walking storytellers known as griots. Remember this from yesterday's articles. Each year, a festival is held in Cotonou, the capital of Benin. The festival celebrates the proud tradition of storytelling. For 2 nights in middle August, more than 30 communities from across Benin hold the event. Memories of Africa, organized by French Benis Group, is now 2 decades old. Magical creatures are disappearing. Emile Amaro, a storyteller from France, came to steep herself in Benin's spoken treasures. The tale includes an incredible but vanishing cast of characters. They include spirits, talking animals, magical creatures, kings and queens, heroes, villains, and witches. I started my career telling African stories, Amaro said. She found them full of meaning, humor, and deep thought. Like Jimanda, many people in the audience were hearing the stories for the first time. It was a sign that spoken storytelling is becoming less popular. Chris Mal Tanakuin is a teacher at a private school in Cotonou. He came to the square to relive his childhood memories. In the good old days, we sat on the floor around a kerosene lamp, said Tanakuin. We were listening to our grandparents tell these funny stories between humans and animals. It is understandable that Takanua values the memories. Spoken tradition lost little by little. The spoken tradition is being lost little by little, says Raul Achaka. He represents memories of Africa. We must act so that the African wisdom is not forgotten, said Achaka. It should not disappear with those who die, he said. The point of the festival is to get younger children to hear them and then teach their children, he said. The tales are also shared in France, a local language called Fon. To push for more storytelling, the group held a contest in 2000. More than 1,000 young people took part in the contest. They helped to create several books containing more than 1,500 stories. Getting the stories on paper is important to writer Carmen Tudono. Says the future of African fairy tales is on the pages of these books. Tudanu from Benin encourages writers to be more interested in these works. She wants them to be able to offer our children stories through which they can identify, she said. Creating African heroes. We must create African heroes to stand alongside Snow White and Little Red Riding Hood, she said. Then the parents have to read them very early to make them later lovers of beautiful stories. Parents can help them to love reading, she said. Passing along this knowledge is an important part of saving African history, said Patricia Totten, He is a Benin storyteller based in France. Storytelling continues the knowledge, languages, practices, and history of the groups of people, Totten said. It plays a role in saving the way a group of people see themselves, he said. He wants the stories to continue. Totten hopes that 100 years from now, a child in Benin will know not to whistle at night when wild creatures hide in the dark. All right, ladies, so for some reason, that's technology for you. The quiz and writing response is not coming up on the website, so if you don't have access to it, this is what I would like for you to do. You're going to email your written response to me at my email address here. You should all have that already. And your response is, what are some reasons that people want to keep the tradition of oral storytelling alive? Why is it important for the cultures, and how does it bring families together? So I want you to answer all 3 of these questions in a writing response, and please email it to my email. Enjoy.